Mastriano eviscerates FBI weaponization in wake of polarizing raid on Pennsylvania family. State Senator and GOP gubernatorial nominee Doug Mastriano fried the FBI's political machinations in the wake of the shocking raid on a young Pennsylvania family last week. Quote, the continued weaponization of the FBI and prosecution of Joe Biden's DOJ against ordinary Americans is an outrage. As it is, we've never seen anything like this before. You know, they already started with their DOJ calling parents just concerned about their child's education as a domestic terrorist. They viewed any dissenting voice as extreme.
Yeah, we see majority of Americans who disagree. And so when you are not with where majority of Americans are, then, you know, that is extreme. That is an extreme way of thinking.
Joe Biden with his very dark and dictator-like speech. It was one of those, like, just the darkest, most just evil, nasty, horrible speeches any American politician, left or right, has ever given in the history of this country.
Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans quote a clear and present danger to our democracy.
He's the most divisive president we have ever had, and that's saying something after Obama. According to Fox News, Mark Hoyk, a father of 7 children, was arrested by the FBI on Friday on allegedly assaulting a Planned Parenthood, evil people, clinic escort in 2021, doing the Lord's work. The outlet additionally reported that Hawk was the co-founder of the president of a Catholic pro-life ministry called the Kingsmen. This morning, a heavily armed SWAT team of dozens of FBI agents raided the home of Mark Hawk. I feel like I'm saying that name wrong, but we're just going to keep pronouncing it that way. Of Bucks County, Pennsylvania, with his wife and terrified children inside over a case that was long thrown out by the district court in Pennsylvania. Mark and Ryan Marie and their 7 children were traumatized and in tears as they witnessed their parents held at gunpoint and their father hauled away in handcuffs. The assault case against Hawk was weak, with his wife stating that the so-called assault involved her husband pushing back a man who was yelling obscenities at their young son, while providing counseling outside a Planned Parenthood clinic. Yeah, these pro-abortion people, they're very nasty, very mean, very vulgar. They're mean, nasty people. They use very, very vulgar language. They don't care how young you are. You could be a little kid. Horrible people. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the case was dropped. The case was dropped by a district court. However, Fox News reported that the Department of Justice picked up the case in 2022. Yeah, of course they did. Gestapo. They are literal Nazis, by definition. The Biden DOJ is being fully weaponized against his political enemies. The most horrific case yet to beat the story of the Catholic activist from my hometown who had 30 FBI agents sent to his house yesterday to arrest him in front of his children. Greg Price on Twitter posted. Greg Price, a senior digital analyst for X Strategies, further expanded on the situation, stating on Twitter that Hawk was counseling when a pro-abortion protester leading people into the building threatened his son and yelled obscenities at him. Classy. Hawk then pushed the man away from his son, he was never charged for it. And the man tried unsuccessfully to sue him. Yeah, the courts threw it down. There was no case. The FBI's dramatic raid on a private citizen is yet another example. And that's the thing. Every time the FBI raids like one of these like everyday citizens, there's always like 30 or 40 fully armed assault rifle FBI agents. They go in there and they put the handcuffs on them, they put the leg chains on them and everything, the old ball and chain. They do it just to make a message. That's all they're doing, is sending a message to don't you dare have a dissenting voice. Don't you dare talk bad about the regime, about the globalist. We own you. Stay in line. That's what it's all about, especially right before the election. That's kind of what they're mentioning here. The FBI's dramatic raid on a private citizen, yet another example of DOJ's escalation and conducting raids on a political opposition leading up to the November midterms. In August, they raided the home of the 45th president, unjustified. They changed their answer like 20 times at least now. Further, according to multiple sources, at least 35 Trump allies were raided. Again, 35 Trump allies were raided by the FBI in September, as previously reported. 35. Mastriano, who has been endorsed by Trump in his bid for governor, promised Pennsylvanians that the continued weaponization of the FBI by the Biden administration would halt if he was elected in November. He says, and I quote, "As governor, I will not allow the police state of Joe Biden to enforce his prosecution against his political enemies on sacred Pennsylvania soil, not on my watch." We're seeing violence. We're seeing corruption like we've never seen before from the FBI, from the CIA. We've seen just recently someone murdered in cold blood. And the guy flat out said, "I killed this dude because he was conservative." And he's let out on bail like it was nothing. It is insane. This is literally a war on conservatives. We have everyday people now that we've seen. We've seen the 83-year-old grandmother shot for her pro-life beliefs. We've seen the dude run over. When I say dude, I mean a young kid run over, and the guy admitted flat out, he's a conservative. I killed him. And the left says, so what? So what? And then we got the FBI going after everyday people just because they disagree, their dissenting voice. We've never seen evil like this before. This is very Gestapo-like, very Nazi-like. And I choose my words very deliberately. I don't like to overspeak like that. People overuse the words Hitler and Nazi and all that all the time, but I've never seen evil like this before in my life. Like and comment, subscribe. It does help the channel a lot. I'm demonetized, so I don't make any money doing YouTube whatsoever. But that's okay. I love doing it. It's fun. I just really ask, just like and subscribe. It does help the channel a lot. That's better than any donation in my opinion, and I do appreciate it. Follow me on the socials below. I'm banned from Twitter, but you can follow me on GETTR, True Social, all that stuff. Appreciate you guys. God bless. See you next time.